So I just kind of wanted to add that kind of level of relatability, and like that we're just still connected to those issues as much as other people. So
100%. And we can sometimes, if you see somebody on stage or you see somebody who's ahead of you in business or these different things, like, oh, well, their life must be perfect or these things. And it's like, we're all humans. We all struggle and navigate some of the different things in different times in our life. Like, you know, when you start a family, that'll throw in a different impact where sleep impacts it. And there's all these things. And it's like, yes, I have looked into this and studied it because of some of the dynamics of what I've been through, but it doesn't mean that I don't go through it myself. Like, I'm talking about 4 months ago feeling in a place of depression. I'm talking about 2 weeks ago where I had to text some of my friends and say, I don't know what to do. I'm so overwhelmed. I'm at my wit's end. And then being able to continue to navigate and know that tomorrow is going to be a better day. But those are recent things, and I'm continuing to navigate these things. And that's why we don't have an expectation of perfection of other people, but in some ways we can. So I love that you had talked about the relatability of that. And what started all of this, which I haven't gone into, is depression is something that I have seen around my life since I can pretty much remember. I remember in 5th grade looking up, and my dad actually had 3 different bouts with depression and took his life when I was a junior in college. And I remember in 5th grade looking upstairs and asking my mom why dad wouldn't come down. And she said, Dad's healing right now, that he's sick. And I said, well, is he sick? Does he have a cold? And she said, no, it's his brain. That was the first time that he had depression, and he had navigated that 2 other times. And the 3rd time he actually wrote us a letter. And it was the dynamic that it continued to come back that eventually broke him. And so he tried to change, and that's why I was like, for me, I like to understand things. And so I'm like, I don't understand why that happened. My dad, you know, he changed everything external. So he ended up, between his 2nd and his 3rd, getting a divorce with my mom, moving out of Seattle and into Enumclaw, which is that's where I'm from, closer to the mountains. So he had said, okay, well, maybe it's the relationship. Maybe it's the familial stress there. It's not that he wasn't in our lives, but I was in college at the time from the divorce until his death, but he moved out. He could see Mount Rainier, which was his favorite mountain. He hiked to the top of it and could ski every day. And he went remote before lawyers went remote. He did it back in the early 2000s. And so he changed everything external, but he didn't, I don't think he truly healed from the traumas of his life. And so what happens is if we don't go back to those dark times, if we don't go back to some of those things, and for me, my beliefs is we can do the work to heal it, but we also have to let God into those places where that is what he kept trying to change everything on top, but he didn't get to the root of it. And so he had a tough childhood. His dad was an Army. That generation is much different than ours. And he was in the Army, and he was a boxing amateur champion. So you can put 2 and 2 together about how he disciplined my dad. And so he went through some of those things, and I don't believe he truly healed from those. And that was the outworking of that. And I think traumas and what they'll call is early or adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs, are really the root of pretty much all of the issues that we have in today's day and age in terms of mental health, addiction, and those things. So it can go to depression. It can go to addiction, where I'm compensating by utilizing drugs or alcohol. It can go to sex addiction. It can go to porn, all of these different things. A lot of people in business, for me, I wasn't an addict, but I went into business to then say, hey, when I make money, then I'm going to be valued, then I'm going to be seen, then I'm going to get loved by doing these external things, and found that it was eventually like empty because I was pursuing happiness. And then I got everything I thought I wanted. I was the top rep in the company. Had the loft condo downtown. I had a glass ping pong table so that people would remember me because I didn't feel like I was enough. And I was pursuing those things, but I didn't actually have the joy or the purpose in my life.